Good morning, everybody. You know what today is. Wake Up Wednesday. Hey, there's a whole lot of the week left, and we have to get on it, right? Yep, just ask the cat right there who's busy looking out the window at the birds at the feeder. We're in First Corinthians chapter 15. Still there. We were there last week. We're going to continue there. For this coming Sunday, it's Paul talking to the Corinthian church about the resurrection. Well, he'd been talking about Jesus' resurrection. Now he's talking about our resurrection. And now a lot of people just didn't believe it. And, well, it's interesting. Remember, the Corinthian church is in a context where there's a lot of Greek influence, Greek thought yet that goes on. There's a lot of that in our day and age today, even, where it's just hard to believe that this body of ours, that this old rotten corrupted body of ours is kind of going to be resurrected. Who wants to get back into this thing? I want something brand new. Well, the apostle Paul basically is telling the people, look, it's not going to be some sort of zombie apocalypse type of deal where now there's a bunch of zombies walking around. No, we're going to have resurrected bodies, but new created bodies. Get out of your mind. You're putting on the same old stuff. No, this is going to be perfect, imperishable. He tries to use a whole bunch of different metaphors and ways to describe it. Like, that was a man of dust. Now it's going to be a man with real integrity, real spirit. Um, it just goes on and on. A body that's weak, but now it's going to be raised in power. So he is struggling, it seems, in his argument to the people, where he's trying to say, look, the body is good. God created all of us in his image. He created this world as a good thing. But even we see elsewhere in his writings where he says even the world is kind of corrupted by this thing called sin. And sin and death seem to reign. But the resurrection of Jesus shows that that is not so. Um, that's where our lesson for this coming Sunday is going. It's 1 Corinthians 15, verses 35. They cut out a couple of verses, but read all the way through verse 50. Now, the thing I'm kind of disappointed about this year is that our lectionary reading stopped there, because then we go into Sunday, the Transfiguration, and then into Lent. And we're going to miss out on what I think is the most awesome part of Paul's argument. And I'd like to end our time together this morning by reading that. That is the verses that come immediately after the text we have for this coming Sunday. So 1 Corinthians 15, 51 through 58. Listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all die, but we all will be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will all be changed. For this perishable body must put on imperishability, and this mortal body put on immortality. When this perishable body puts on the imperishable, and this mortal body puts on immortality, then the saying that is written will be fulfilled. Death has been swallowed up in victory. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? The sting of death is sin, and the power of sin is the law. But thanks be to God, who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. That's the pinnacle, those words. That's the pinnacle of his argument. And we don't get to hear them this year because it would have to be a really, really long Epiphany season or a super short one where we get it at the beginning of the Pentecost season. But that's just not happening this year. So we miss out on altogether. And it's hard to say when in the next 3-year cycle we'll actually hear these words. But you've heard them now, and the words of power, words of hope, words of strength, especially for those of us who are going through difficult times. Perhaps you have lost loved ones recently, or maybe you yourself are facing um, your mortality. Maybe you have a diagnosis that isn't too promising. Maybe you're just getting up there in the years and you're saying, I don't know how much longer I have here on this earth. But the one thing I do have is God's certain promise that I will put on a brand new body. Now, the question is, just how old is that body? You going to come back as being 28, 38, 58? Who knows? It's going to be an awesome body. God's blessings be with you. Enjoy your day as you wake up this Wednesday.